Hey, writers! Today we're going to start doing some more fiction writing, but today we're going to do fiction writing in a little bit different way. So, last week we talked about creating our own character, giving them a name, imagining a place, imagining an adventure, and then getting them into some trouble, and then also thinking about a solution for our character's problem. Now, this is something called fantasy fiction. It means it's all made up, it's all pretend. Maybe the dragon can talk, or maybe the dragon's guarding treasure, which we know doesn't really happen in real life. There's also something called realistic fiction. So here's our learning target for today. Today, I want to teach you that you can also write realistic fiction stories. And what that means is you can come up with a character that might remind you of someone in your own real life. We see this all the time in different stories we read. We read stories about kids going to kindergarten, or we read stories about kids going to the park. Now, those are pretend stories because the author made up the name, made up the adventure, but it's stuff that really could happen in real life. So that's what realistic fiction is, something that really could happen in real life. The steps are the same. We're going to give our character a name, imagine a place, imagine an adventure, imagine some trouble our character might get into, and then think of a solution for our character's problem. So in this story, I'm going to read you a story that a kindergartner wrote from a different class. And they wrote a story about a little girl who was in a tree house during a stormy day, during a stormy evening. So realistic fiction can have characters that exist in real life, like a grandma or a farmer. And things in these types of stories, they're possible to happen in real life. Fantasy fiction usually has characters that are pretend, like remember my fire-breathing dragon, or a unicorn, or a mermaid. These types of characters cannot exist in real life. But we make them do things that real people can do. That's why you see a lot of times in these types of fiction stories, the animals can talk. That's called fantasy fiction. So today I want to show you a story written by a kindergartner about a girl named Gretchen. It says, Gretchen hid her head in her hands. Crack! She was cold. So she heard some thunder and lightning. She was in her tree house. So we gave her a name. Her name is Gretchen. And we imagined some trouble she might get into. She was in a storm, which made her nervous. Then the storm passed. Gretchen's mom yelled, Gretchen, come inside and get dry. I made hot chocolate. So we imagined her adventure. She was in her treehouse having fun. The storm came, and then her mom called out to her to help her, which is something that could happen in real life. Gretchen climbed down the treehouse. So here's our place in our story. She's in her treehouse. And she felt safe at last. So we're thinking of a solution to our character's problem. She got hot chocolate at the end. So today you're going to write a realistic fiction story. You're going to give your character a name, imagine a place, imagine an adventure, imagine some trouble they might get into, and then think of a solution for your character's problem. Don't forget, you want to make this realistic fiction. So you want to make it something that could actually happen in real life. You can change the names of characters or people. You can make them go somewhere fun, like Disney World, or maybe to the beach or something like that. Just try your very hardest to write a realistic fiction story today.